Hi everybody, my name is Andrew. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about the future perfect tense for statements. I'm not going to talk about making questions, but just simple positive and negative statements with these grammar points. So let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the use of the future perfect tense. Why do we use this grammar point? We use the future perfect tense to refer to actions that will or will not be finished at a specific points in the future. So a key for this grammar point is we need a deadline. We need some point in the future for an action to be finished or not finished. So again, on this sort of like image, in this sort of timeline, if we are speaking now in the present about a specific point in the future, this could be like tomorrow, it could be 8 o'clock, it could be next year. If we are talking about some point in the future, we want to refer to an action that will at that point in time in the future be finished, or by that point in time will not be finished. So when we make future perfect tense sentences, as I have started doing, we use will or will not. So when we make a positive statement with this grammar point, we use will plus have plus the past participle form of the verb. I will show some examples in just a moment. So will have plus past participle. When we make the negative form of this grammar point, we use will not, or we reduce it, we contract it to won't plus have and the past participle. So we use this just to make simple statements. This is the pattern of statements only. So let's look at how we can use this in some example sentences. Let's look at this first one. I will have something, my new job, by this time next year. So by show us our deadline. So in this case, by this time next year, this is our point in the future. So at this time, the following year, this thing we see will have something, my new job. Here the verb is start. The past participle form of the verb start is started. So the sentence is I will have started my new job by this time next year. So meaning at this time next year, at this point in the year, next year, my new job will have started. So that means sometime before this point in time, I am going to start my job. And that means at this point in time, the action will be complete. I'll be done. So the start and action, this start action will have begun somewhere before that. And like I will be working maybe. So by this time next year, I will have started my new job. Okay, let's look at another example here. She'll, I've used she'll here. This is she will, so again, very common to contract to reduce will in these cases. She'll have something, her homework by 8. So in this case we have a time which marks our deadline by 8. So our specific point in the future is 8, maybe 8 p.m., 8 at night. She'll have, the verb is finish. The past participle form of the verb is finished. She'll have finished her homework by 8. So that means by this deadline of 8 o'clock, her homework will be done. So that means before 8 o'clock, in this period before 8 o'clock, somewhere in here, she'll make the last steps on her homework. So by this time, everything will be done. Everything will be finished by here. Okay. So that could mean she finishes before 8. It just means 8 o'clock is the deadline. By that time everything will be finished. Okay, let's go to another example sentence. Here we see the deadline at the beginning of the sentence. By 10 p.m. we'll have something dinner already. Here the verb is eat, so the past participle form of the verb eat is eaten. Eaten. By 10 p.m. we'll have eaten dinner already. So this means by 10 p.m. We'll have finished eaten dinner. So already shows us that an expected action is finished. So it's finished before the time period indicated, or finished before the point in time indicated. Something is done. So by 10 p.m. we'll have eaten dinner already. Means sometime before 10 p.m. we ate dinner. So by this time we will be finished. In other words, we will have eaten dinner somewhere before that time. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The verb here is arrive. Here we have a negative though. So I have given a very open sentence here. They won't have something yet. We could add a deadline here, for example, by, I don't know, by 9 a.m. They won't have plus our past participle form arrived yet. By 9 a.m. they won't have arrived yet. So here we see an action that will not be complete by our deadline. So by 9 a.m., in this case, by 9 a.m., some people we are expecting to come, they will not be here. They won't have arrived yet. That means probably some point in the future they are going to arrive. But by this deadline, by this point in time, they will not have arrived. So in this period before 9 a.m., they will not have arrived. So that means that probably in the future, sometime in the future, they will arrive. So here, a couple hints here. We have the negative, they won't have arrived yet. Reminder yet shows us expectations. So we are expecting someone to arrive. In this case, we are expecting people to come. We are expecting people to arrive somewhere, but by this time it will not have happened. It will not have happened. Okay, let's move on to the next example. Again, a negative. He won't have something, the paperwork, by tomorrow. Our verb is check. The past participle form of check is checked. He won't have checked the paperwork by tomorrow. So deadline is tomorrow. By tomorrow, he won't have checked the paperwork. Between now, present tense, and this point tomorrow, by tomorrow, the paperwork checking will not be completed. It won't be done. So maybe in the future here, he won't have checked the paperwork. By tomorrow shows in this time period the action will not be completed. Okay, one more example. I won't have something in the house yet. I won't have something in the house yet. So again here I didn't really include a specific deadline, and it's just kind of an open expression. Or let's add one here. So by I don't know, 9 a.m. again I won't have something. So here my verb is leave. Leave, the past participle of leave is left. I won't have left the house yet. I won't have left the house yet. So again, a deadline by 9 a.m. I won't have left the house yet. By this point in time, I will still be in my house. In other words, so I'm expecting. Again, we see yet here. I'm expecting to live in the house, but by 9 a.m. By this point, I will not have left the house. Means I will still be inside my house. I will leave maybe after 9 a.m. So keep in mind with this grammar point, there's typically a deadline. That's clear. And though in some of these cases I didn't write the clear deadline because when you are like using this grammar point in speech, sometimes from the conversation you understand the deadline, and so we drop it in conversation. So if speaker is talking about 9 a.m. as a deadline, speaker B doesn't necessarily have to say the deadline again. Oftentimes, speaker in this case drops the deadline and just gives an open statement like this: they won't have arrived yet, or I won't have left the house yet. So you don't have to include your deadline in your statement if it's understood, if everyone in the conversation understands the deadline. It's quite common to drop it. But for this lesson, I included a deadline. I just wanted to point out that sometimes we do this portion. Okay, so that's a quick introduction to the future perfect tense and making statements with the future perfect tense. I hope that it was useful for you. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making a sentence with the grammar point, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you like the video,